Hi, I'm Aaron.
I'm Varun.
And I'm Frank, and we are Team Idyllic from Poolsville High School in Montgomery County, Maryland. This year, for the SourceAmerica Design Challenge, we aim to create a device that will help users open, fill, and close resealable zipper bags, otherwise known as Ziploc bags.
Ziploc bags are commonplace in our lives for personal storage and commercial packaging. However, they can be difficult for some to use because of the fine motor skills required. When opening a Ziploc bag, the plastic lips can be difficult to separate because they tend to stick together and don't have a significant gap between for the user to approach. When filling the bag, it must be constantly held open because the bag lacks structure. And when closing the bag, the lock must be perfectly aligned to get a proper seal.
These factors can make Ziploc bags very difficult or impossible to use for those who don't have full use of their hands. And it's these problems that our device intends to mitigate to make the process of opening, filling, and closing Ziploc bags easy and simple.
Unfortunately, due to the pandemic, we were unable to work with specific individuals to design a customized device, but we were able to work with Ms. Cheryl Winans, a pediatric occupational therapist at the Brown Station Elementary School in Montgomery County, Maryland. We met with her regularly to discuss our design, and she would provide feedback with her expert opinion.
The use of a Ziploc bag can be broken down into 3 actions: opening, filling, and closing. For opening the bag, we decided the best approach would be to pinch the lips of the bag and slide, forcing the bag to open slightly, which can be more easily opened fully using an external device. For filling the bag, we decided the best approach would be to use a funnel. With a funnel, the user can simply slide the bag onto the smaller end and drop things in from the other end without having to use 2 hands to open the bag. For closing the bag, we decided the best approach would be to use a roller on the lock of the bag. Ziploc bags are intended to be pinched shut, but this can be impossible for those who aren't able to pinch with their fingers. With the roller on the track, the user can simply press and drag the roller across a restricted path, ensuring that the lock is pressed hard enough and completely, resulting in a perfect seal.
One of our initial designs used an arm to hold the bag in place, and 2 automatic sliders to open and close the bag. However, it didn't have anything to help fully open the bag afterwards, and it would rely on electronics, which are prone to malfunction and expensive to replace.
Our second design was manually operated. This design instead uses a rail system that allows the stick to move horizontally and vertically relative to a board, which is covered in a rubbery material to reduce bag movement. The bag will be placed on the board and the stick will be pushed and slid across the lock to open and close the bag. Once a gap is created, the stick could also be inserted into the gap to further open the bag.
Ms. Winans liked the simplicity of our design and how the stick could also be used to open the bag fully. Overall, Ms. Winans felt that the manual one would be more simple, but also suggested we put the device on a slope to prevent the bag from spilling.
Our final design addresses these problems while making the bag and usage process easier. This design is made up of 3 different parts: the main board, modular tips, and funnel. The main board is constructed out of 3D printed plastic with a rubber sheet to increase traction and magnets to hold the bag in place. The bag is placed over the magnets in the board, and another set of magnets are placed on top to secure the bag. The board holds a dual rail system that provides 2-dimensional movement relative to the board. Modular tips are inserted into the secondary track. They can move up or down, allowing them to be pushed into or pulled away from the board. There are 3 separate tips for each action. The tip for initially opening the bag has a rounded end to create friction. It is pushed and slid across the lock to create a small opening. The tip for further opening the bag has a protrusion that is inserted into the new gap and dragged across the lock, fully opening the bag. The tip for closing the bag is a smooth rectangular shape to create pressure. It is pushed and slid across the lock of the bag, pushing the lock together to seal the bag. All 3 tips have rubber grips on their sides that make them easier to handle. Once the bag has been opened, items can simply be dropped into the funnel, which will guide them directly into the bag. Because the bag is already secured to the board, only one hand is needed to hold the bag open. We asked Ms. Winans what she thought of our device.
I think that it looks like it would do the job.
We expect the time needed to use a Ziploc bag will be reduced using the device.
Just in our local community of Montgomery County, Maryland, our device has the potential to help up to 32% of adults who have been diagnosed with arthritis. Many people also suffer from essential tremors, ataxia, and osteoarthritis. In fact, our device can help all people by making the experience of using a Ziploc bag easier for everyone. This device has also had an impact on us, Team Idyllic. We are all fortunate to be able-bodied, and going through the process of designing, researching, and testing this project had made us realize that some things that we consider easy, such as opening a Ziploc bag, can indeed be difficult for many others.